I'm going to show you how to make biscottis, and these are way better than the ones that they sell at Starbucks. These are all the ingredients that we're going to be using. 2 cups of flour, 3/4 cups of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, some chocolate chips, some nuts. I'm using both almonds and walnuts. 3 eggs, a tablespoon of oil, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. You're going to grab a medium-sized bowl and add everything except for the chocolate chips and the almonds. I'm actually using Clara's recipe from Great Depression Cooking on YouTube. I found her recipe years ago and just loved her so much, loved the video, and I love the biscotti so much I never even looked for a different recipe. It talks about what it was like to live and cook through the Great Depression and how things like this were such a treat, and I just feel really blessed to be able to make a treat like this whenever I want. Her recipe actually didn't call for walnuts at all. She added crushed almonds to the dough, but I want to use my almonds for topping, and I still want that nutty flavor in the dough. So I have these walnuts that have been sitting in the cupboard forever and want to use them up, so I just crushed them down and added them to the dough, and I'm really glad I did. Get that all mixed together, and it might take a while to form a dough because really the only wet ingredients here are the oil and the eggs, so just give it a minute, give it a chance. It'll eventually come together, and then on a cookie sheet you're going to add the dough and kind of form 2 little mounds. I know this looks weird, but you'll see where we get the biscotti, I promise. So evenly distribute the dough into your 2 mounds and just do your best to kind of make it look nice because this is going to determine the shapes of your cookies. There we go, that's as pretty as it's going to get. Now put it in the oven to bake for 15 to 20 minutes at 375. Once you take them out, go ahead and let them cool for a little bit before you start slicing into them. You're going to cut each mound into thin little strips. Now you can start to see the biscotti shape. Now that you know that, go ahead and slice them as big or thin as you want them. And go ahead and lay them on their side because they're going back in the oven. Lower the oven to 300 and bake them for another 10 to 15 minutes. Bring them out, flip them over again to their other side and add them back to the oven, same temperature, 300 for 10 to 15 minutes. Now that they're a nice golden brown, we're going to go ahead and get started on the toppings. Take your almonds and just roughly chop them into tiny little pieces. And to melt your chocolate chips, you can either melt them in the microwave or over the stove. This is my favorite. I take a small saucepan with a little bit of water, bring it to a boil, and then that will slowly melt the chocolate chips. I also add a little bit of coconut oil just to give it a nice shine. Now go ahead and get your station ready to decorate, which is the best part. I just take one, dip it, and get the entire top covered in chocolate. Could also just dip it in half. I just like it this way because then there's chocolate in every bite. And then while the chocolate is still warm and melty, that's when I go in and sprinkle the chopped almonds. And then I continue dipping and decorating in batches. And there they are. They're so pretty and really not that complicated to make.